All right, everyone. So I wanted to start off the video with a very important question, and this is one of the times where I really ask you guys to sit and think about this for a second, especially to those of you guys who have been playing Raid Shadow Legends for a long time, and if you have done a lot of summons in the past, especially considering that we very recently had a ×2 rates event for Ancient Shards. I know a decent amount of you guys summoned at least a few shards for that. Probably, a decent number of people watching this video collectively. It's really important for you guys to actually think about this right here. And I want to ask you guys the question, since you have summoned shards with the release of Battle Pass Season 1 many months ago, in that time, have you ever noticed you actually pulling the champion Stag Knight? Now, for me, I know the answer is no, and I can actually go through here, and I will, and I'll show you guys how I know the answer to that. And I know there are a lot of other people that I've actually talked to where the answer is also no to that. In fact, it's a lot of people, and lately the community has collectively seemed to come to the conclusion that you cannot actually get Stag Knight from shard summons right now, and this is a really big problem for many different reasons. So I wanted to talk about this, kind of what's going on, and really think to yourself and ask that question, and I'm sure that you guys will come to the same conclusion that I did, as well as many other people, and that is no, you have not actually pulled a Stag Knight from shards. Now, also, I noticed that there was a Reddit post that actually was talking about this, and it's one thing to get really unlucky with your shard summons, given especially the fact that there are just so many epic champions in the actual game. You could easily pull thousands of shards and still not have certain epics. In fact, I'm in that boat. I think there's still a couple of epics out there that I haven't pulled, especially void epics, because they come from void shards. It's possible, right? But now when you start to add, lots of people, your friends, other people that you know, content creators who do shard pulls on YouTube, and then you also have a large community post with dozens, if not hundreds of people that are starting to come together and now also post that none of them have realized that they have actually pulled a Stag Knight from shards. All it would take is one person to say that they did and show proof that they actually pulled the Stag Knight from shards to really kind of crumble this entire tower right here. But that doesn't seem like what's happening. It just seems like, the further time goes on, it seems like there's just more evidence that the Stag Knight epic champion does not drop from summons. You cannot actually summon him, which means that Stag Knight is exclusively right now from Battle Pass Season 1. If you're a new player, there is no way to actually get this champion right now. If he doesn't drop in shards, well, there's nothing you can really do. And this is obviously a big problem, even if he wasn't a good champion, right? Because the way that it's actually labeled here in the summoning screen, if we go here, shard summoning chances, of course, you've got all the odds here, what the percentage is. I believe it is actually, you have to post this, at least in certain regions like China. I think, you have to post the actual odds when it comes to RNG related stuff. But then also read this text right here. The odds of summoning a champion of a certain rarity depends on the type of shard. Every champion of the same rarity has an equal chance of being summoned. That's also really important to note right there. Except when targeted champion boosts are active. This is, of course, talking about the 10x rates events, which don't actually increase these numbers right here. They increase the chances of getting certain champions relative to others. But when we do not have one of those targeted champion boosts active, the chance of getting every single champion in the game, from Ancient Shards, of course, that doesn't include the Void Affinity, but it's all equal to all the other champions in the game. It might not seem like it, especially if you feel like you get a lot of dupes of certain champions and you can't get others, but this text right here is explicitly stating that. Targeted champion boost increases the chances of summoning specific champions. Now, this is important right here, of course, but it only applies to sacred shards. Excluded champions, Shaman, Jizzo, High Katoon, Yaga the Insatiable, Dark Aethel, Dark Elaine, Lordly Legionnaire, and Sylva Drakes cannot be summoned from sacred shards. This is also only referring to sacred shards, because I know that I've done plenty of summons before. Even in my last couple of summoning sessions, I got a lot of Shaman, Jizzos, High Katoons, all these champions here can indeed still drop from Ancient Shards, but Stag Knight does not appear to drop from any shard, and the only way to have gotten him was from the Battle Pass Season 1, which of course is no longer in the game. Now, going back to what I was saying, Stag Knight is not just any old champion. He's actually really good, which makes this an even bigger problem. Now, any champion should not, this shouldn't be a problem for any champion. That's already an issue right there. But the fact that he's actually really, really good, and he's got the kind of, I guess you could say, like the trifecta of debuffs here. Let's look at his second skill first, because this is probably his best one. Attacks all enemies, has a 70% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff and a 50% decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. You've got the 2 strongest debuffs on the same AoE skill right there. That is absolutely huge. You can get it down to a 3-turn cooldown, and you can get that decreased defense all the way up to 100%. 95% from the skill, and then 5% from the mastery. I mean, this is just an absolutely insane skill. And then on top of that, you also have his skill 1 here, which has the decreased speed debuff. This is without a cooldown as well. Super good skill kit. This guy is absolutely awesome. You don't even need to build him with attack, even though his skills are attack based, because his job is mostly to end up placing these debuffs here, and also decrease speed, which I guess you could consider to be, after decreased attack and defense, probably, and maybe weaken, easily one of the top 5 debuffs in the game. So the fact that this guy alone's got 3 of those is huge. And then on top of that, you've got his passive, places a 50% increased accuracy buff on an ally for 1 turn each time the ally has a debuff resisted by an enemy. Like, this guy just does so much. He's such a solid support. You can also build him to actually do a very large amount of damage as well. And the fact that the only way that you could have gotten this guy with this bug or whatever is going on is from the battle pass is a problem. New players cannot get him. Like, if your account was created sometime after battle pass season 1 it disappeared, then that's it. There's no way to get this champion in the actual game. So, you know, this is obviously not good, and it's something that I really hope that Plarium addresses and hopefully fixes soon. But, you know, the thing is, Plarium's made a lot of mistakes in the past, especially with shop offers and pack offers and all that sort of stuff. And mistakes do happen, but at this point, you know, they've made so many mistakes with stuff like this, and it just feels like it's always like the worst case scenario whenever they end up making a mistake like this, right? Like with the shop offers, the pack offers, you know, there's been so much stuff going on, and then the worst case scenario happens where they end up leaving the double stuff up on these packs here, but you don't actually get double stuff. Now, granted, to be fair, they did end up resolving this issue, and the compensation was more than adequate, but they've just done this so many times. It's just hard to imagine with a game as big as Raid and a company as big as Plarium. So the fact that Stag Knight is one of the best epics in the game, honestly, and probably the best epic champion from the actual battle pass, even arguably better than the legendary champion that you could get, Whirlim Frost King. You know, this entire time for you not to be able to get him from shard summons is kind of a big deal, because, you know, there's already so many trash epics, right? You know, if 3/4 of all epics in the game are trash, that means that if they take one good epic out of the summoning pool, and still leave all the trash ones in, like, that makes a pretty big difference to the actual value of the shards that you are summoning. So, you know, this is just something to kind of reflect on. If you guys want to, you can go back and take a look at my summons. You could take a look at other content creators' summons. You could take a look at your own and just kind of see and note to yourself that, yes, he does not drop. Now, I did actually, you know, do a little bit digging into this beyond just that Reddit post, and I went back through and looked at, you know, a lot of my own summon videos and kind of saw what epics I got from it. I actually also went back through and looked at I summoned almost 800 Ancient Shards on the test server lately, and I did not get a Stag Knight there as well. And kind of a system that I use for most epics to be able to tell, like, how many dupes of them I've gotten is I don't actually use epic champions as food. I just don't. I only use 3-star and lower champions as food. So when I get an epic champion that is a dupe, what I do is, instead of using it for food, if I already have that champion in my vault, which I probably honestly do, because I keep 1 copy of every epic and rare, then I actually use them as a skill book. So I can actually go back through a lot of my champions, especially the ones that I don't really use and I didn't use books on, and see how many duplicates of them that I've gotten. And of course, Stag Knight I have no skill books on him. I have not leveled him or used him myself. I just have other champions that kind of fit the role that he does, so I didn't have any reason to level him up yet. And of course, no skill books means no dupes. Now, the other two epics from Battle Pass Season 1, I wanted to go back through and see if they were actually dropping, and it does seem like they do, because I have actually gotten 2 dupes of this guy right here, one of the bears from Battle Pass Season 1, Ursine Ironhide. And you can see that it is this skill right here that has 2 skill ups on it. Rampaging Swipe. And I did not use books on this guy. I did not feed any extra copies. I always just rank up their actual skills. So I have at some point in my summons gotten 2 copies of this guy. If you really wanted to go through, you could actually take a look at all my summons since Battle Pass Season 1 ended and see that I did pull this guy at some point twice before. So it seems like it is exclusively right now with Stag Knight. But you know, hopefully this is addressed soon. Plarium, this is, you know, this is not good, especially considering how good of an epic he is. And, you know, what do you guys think about this? What do you guys think? Does this kind of change your mind on how the shard system works, or does this influence your summons at all? What do you guys think about this text right here? You know, let me know what your thoughts and opinions are about this, and, you know, we'll kind of see how Plarium responds, if they do, how quickly they resolve this, and kind of what, if anything, is really, it comes out of this video, I guess you could say. So, with that all being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed, and if you did and you want more videos like this in the future, consider subscribing to the channel. Feel free to leave a quick like as well. It means more than you can imagine, so thank you so much to all of you who decide to do that. And more Raid Shadow Legends videos, guides, tutorials, and all that fun stuff should be showing up on the screen right about now, or to the right or below in your suggested videos. Feel free to check them out, including some of my recent huge summoning sessions. But if not, until next time, take care everyone, and this is Salt of the Salty Guild, signing out.